What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Mountaineer Playbook. I'm James Barrickman alongside Aaron Slindy.
We have a packed show for you with everything from Mountaineer baseball to our nationally ranked rifle team.
That's right, and we start with football. The first signing day under new head coach Neil Brown is complete. As Matt Menard tells us, Coach Brown held his own.
The first signing day of the Neil Brown era has come and gone. WVU's new football coach spent the last 2 months on a recruiting crusade as February 6th crept up. Since arriving in Morgantown, Brown has emphasized the importance of strong in-state recruiting. He plans on keeping that a priority going forward.
We were able to get into a ton of high schools here in the state, develop relationships with those guys. That's something that we'll continue to do so.
Coach Brown was hired shortly after December signing day. That left him with the challenge of selling himself to new recruits as well as existing recruits from the previous staff. Incredibly, he was able to keep all 18 early commitments.
We went about re-recruiting those guys, and either myself or someone on our staff went and visited each one of those student athletes. They felt comfortable with West Virginia. They felt comfortable with a lot of the pieces of why they chose West Virginia. We're still here, and we're still common with our staff.
Brown added 3 of his own signees to an already strong 2019 recruiting class, a group that includes 3 4-star commits and is currently ranked 49th nationally. Signing day may have passed, but the team still has 3 unused scholarships. Brown says those offers will find the right suitors in time.
We could have gone out and used those. There's probably players that we could have signed, but I think you got to be real careful because we want to give ourselves the best opportunity to win next fall, and I think we're better served by holding on those spots till we see what our true product is in spring ball.
With his first recruiting cycle in the books and spring ball approaching, Coach Brown can finally turn his focus between the hash marks. For Mountaineer Playbook, I'm Matt Menard.
The news not so positive for men's basketball. Issa Ahmad and Wesley Harris are no longer with the team. The duo was dismissed due to violations of athletic department policies. Ahmad was the only senior on the team. He led the Mountaineers in scoring with 12 points per game in 22 starts. He also led the team in rebounds. Junior Wesley Harris averaged 8 points per game while shooting 32% from three-point range. Although they are no longer on the team, both are still enrolled at WVU.
The WVU rifle team is gearing up to host the NCAA National Championships in Morgantown this spring, a first for any WVU athletics team. Before that happens, the Mountaineers have some unfinished business to attend to. The undefeated WVU rifle team beat the defending national champion Kentucky Wildcats this past weekend. Although the number 2 ranked Mountaineers are proud of their 13-0 record, their focus is on what they can do to reach their postseason goals.
We're very much in this year's mindset, in this moment, as it were, and this team is hungry to have their, put their mark on the history of West Virginia rifle as well.
The team continues to work towards the 20th national championship, but also has individual titles in sight. Morgan Phillips, the 2-time defending title holder in the small bore, says she's looking forward to the excitement the postseason brings.
We definitely learned some things from last year, but this is a new year with a new team, so we're just working on building from the whole season and going into this match.
WVU Rifle is tied for 7th place in total NCAA championships won by a single program. The Mountaineers are looking to add another trophy to the case, but know they can't overlook anything along the way.
Now for the remaining 3 weeks, we just have to keep the momentum going and keep the training at a high level and the focus right there, and just focus on week by week and day by day for the remaining part of the season.
The NCAA Rifle Championships will be held in Morgantown at the WVU Coliseum on March 8th and 9th.
Sticking with national rankings, the WVU gymnastics team continues to perform well. As Bree Clark explains, they have multiple gymnasts making a name for themselves.
WVU Gymnastics continues to excel midway through their 2019 season. Multiple gymnasts ranked nationally after finishing their second home meet against Iowa State and Denver. Freshman Esperanza Abarca made her balance beam debut and scored a 9.85, making her way to number 27.
So I went out there, I did my best to put on a show, I enjoyed every moment of it, and as soon as I landed and I stuck the dismount, I was like, oh my gosh, I just did that.
The Mountaineers scored season highs on uneven bars, floor exercise, and balance beam, pushing the team to an all-time season best. Whether they're on the road or at home, the Mountaineers know how to soar in the gym. WVU Gymnastics is making headlines not only on the road, but here at the West Virginia Coliseum. I spoke with head coach Jason Butts about the hard work and dedication these gymnasts put in and day out.
They work so hard, and the fans and the public don't understand. These guys are in here 4, 5, 6 days a week, and just it's blood, sweat, and tears.
After recovering from a knee injury and landing herself at number 9 on floor, senior Jackie Tunn is excited about the team's rankings.
It feels great. I'm so happy and proud to be a Mountaineer and be part of the gymnastics program here for this state and for this university.
Senior gymnast Kira Kaczynski, who is nationally ranked on both vault and floor, is carrying new weight on her shoulders for her final season.
You want your last year to be good, so there's also that added pressure of, oh, I want this to be the best year ever, but at the same time, there's no need to make it the best year ever when, you've had fun all these other years, and if you just act like it's the same thing, then you'll have the same results as you want, or, even better.
After coming off of a season best, the Mountaineers have set the bar high for the remaining 2019 season. For Mountaineer Playbook, I'm Bree Clark.
Don't leave yet. We still have much to discuss on this week's show.
We'll meet a women's basketball player who is shining bright for WVU.
I'm Abby Backenso, and coming up next on Mountaineer Playbook, I'll tell you how the Mountaineers plan to hit it big this season.
Plus, we'll take a look at a senior Mountaineer wrestler wrapping up his career here in Morgantown. I'm Michael Rinker, and Mountaineer Playbook continues after the break.
We conquer mountains, but that's not why they call us Mountaineers. It's because we don't let anything stand in our way. We build what's never been built, seek cures for the incurable, and go first into undiscovered frontiers. We are Mountaineers, and impossible is just another mountain to climb.
One of the WVU women's basketball team members is back and stronger than ever.
That's right, Aaron. Tyneese Martin missed the 2017-2018 season. Sports reporter Julia Mellett tells us her story.
As a freshman, Tyneese Martin garnered Big 12 Freshman of the Year honors. Her sophomore year, she was a co-captain and was the first sophomore in program history to earn AP and WBCA All-America honorable mentions. Her junior year, she didn't register a single statistic. Flashback to Colorado Springs in 2017.
I was out there for USA trials, U23. I was trying out for the team. I was with 50 other college players that got picked.
Martin was going through a drill and suffered a Lisfranc injury. A Lisfranc injury, which normally happens to football players, is also common in basketball. The metatarsal, which is right here, is either fractured or dislocated. In Martin's case, it was both. She had surgery in Colorado Springs.
So what they went in and they did was they put pins and screws into it, and typically what's going to happen is it's about 6 months is what we would say the time frame is of keeping all this hardware in.
When Young heard the news about the team's leading scorer, she hopped on the next flight.
Even though I didn't want that to happen, Coach Carey, Terry House, Sam, they all flew out and they took care of me. They made sure that they tried to do anything that they could to keep my mind off of it.
In August 2017, women's basketball posted this video to their Facebook page, sharing with Mountaineer Nation the severity of the injury.
The doctors are telling me that I will be back and ready to go in November. A little roadblock, but I'll be back stronger than ever. See everyone soon. Let's go, Mountaineers!
Those 6 months of rehab turned into a year, and Martin was forced to medically redshirt.
It was probably like the most fakest video because I had to fake a smile. I had to, let's go Mountaineers and all that, and I didn't want to because that's not the type of news that I wanted them to hear.
Martin's rehabilitation required flights to and from Colorado Springs after the pins and screws became badly infected.
The initial surgery was with the surgeon in Colorado. The clean-out surgery was with a surgeon here in Morgantown, and then the same surgeon here in Morgantown was the one that did the hardware removal. So it was just kind of a connecting all the doctors and everyone involved.
Staying off of her feet was difficult for Martin, who up to that point had played in every single game.
I wasn't able to do anything, wasn't able to walk for 9-10 months, so it was terrible. And I think around Big 12 time, that was a rough time for me because usually that's when we start picking things up and moving better.
Fellow senior Katrina Pardee is now rehabbing from an ankle injury. Pardee said that seeing her teammate and friend come back motivates her to return to play.
Seeing her come back and recover from an injury like that gives me, like I said, a lot of confidence and hope that I'll be able to return this season as well.
Martin returned to play this season, and she's leading the team in scoring and steals. Even though she seems to be back to her usual self, she acknowledges the cost of injury.
In the midst of getting hurt, it slowed everything down for me. It humbled me in a way where I knew that I could get back to where I was, but just different explosions, different cuts. I know that I have to use my body a lot different now.
With the postseason in sight, Martin will now look to savor every last game in a Mountaineer jersey. For Mountaineer Playbook, I'm Julia Mellett.
As the college career winds down, hanging them up can be difficult. Christian Montserrat is experiencing just that. But the wrestling senior captain has some work to do before he calls it quits. Here's Michael Rinker.
Before heading to the mat for the last time, redshirt senior captain Christian Montserrat had to face his own emotions.
Well, once they played that video, that senior video, I started to get the most emotional I've been. It wasn't a dream come true or anything, but it was bittersweet. Like, I've been wrestling my whole life, but it's crazy to see that that was my last home match here.
After wrestling his last match here in Morgantown, Montserrat now shifts his focus to the postseason. To be crowned champion at the Division I National Tournament, it'll take some belief and some hard work right here in the practice room. Montserrat can learn from one of his teammates who's already been to the dance before. Redshirt sophomore Matt Schmidt knows what it'll take for his captain to win.
He's definitely capable, but I think when push comes to shove, in other words, he needs to believe in himself at the end of the day, and then March 9th, he needs to fully believe that he deserves to be at that national tournament.
I mean, Schmidt is a really good wrestler. He knows how to wrestle. He knows how to stay in good position. I watch a lot of his matches. He's hard-nosed. He just knows what to do in different types of positions, so it's going to be like that.
Preparing for the postseason, Montserrat has his hopes high. With almost a month till the tournament, he's trusting in his own experience.
Just keep doing what I'm doing. I'm on the right path right now. I'm wrestling good. I feel good. So if I stay the course and just listen to the coaches, then I think I'll be an All-American this year.
With only a few matches left in his collegiate career, Montserrat will try to complete it the way his senior night ended, with his hand raised. For Mountaineer Playbook, I am Michael Rinker reporting.
Baseball threw out its first pitch over the weekend.
The Mountaineers lost 2 out of 3 in Georgia.
They did, but the future remains bright. They're number 6 in the Big 12 coaches poll as spring rolls around.
After finishing last season just shy of a Big 12 championship appearance, WVU baseball is ready to start the upcoming season strong. The Mountaineers are number 6 in the Big 12 coaches poll, and head coach Randy Mazey doesn't mind being the underdog.
I think our guys know we're better than that, and that's going to enable them to play with a chip on their shoulder, something to prove. And anytime you get a group of kids with something to prove that are willing to do it, that can be dangerous for the other team. So,
senior Darius Hill returns after leading the team with 79 hits. He was recently named to the preseason All-Big 12 Conference team and knows all eyes are on him.
I think that just speaks to being in the league a while. I mean, I've had some success being just everyday player. I've seen it all. I think that'll help me be a leader on this team, being able to relay my experiences and everything I've seen over the years. Just it's a grind, but it's also fun at the same time.
As the only Mountaineer to earn these honors, Hill is expected to step up to the plate and fill big shoes. And the Mountaineers are expecting a spot in the Big 12 semifinals for the 4th consecutive year.
We know we can literally beat anybody we play on our schedule, so I think that, like I said, we've had a lot of success in the Big 12, and I don't see why this year would be any different.
WVU starts highly anticipated Big 12 play on March 22nd against Baylor. For Mountaineer Playbook, I'm Abby Backenstow.
Hockey players speak a language that not many people outside the sport would understand, so I took to the Morgantown Ice Arena to learn more about hockey lingo. If you've ever been to a hockey game, you might notice there are some things that are said that wouldn't make much sense to the average person. Whether you're talking about a player's filthy dangles or a goaltender's waffle board, hockey players speak a language all their own. This is Mountaineer goalie Ben Zinti's definition of the term hosing.
So in the pre-Zamboni days, the losing team would have to hose down the ice at the end of the game. So that's what we call, they're losers.
The art of chirping has been embedded in hockey for years. It's something that becomes second nature on the ice.
Bender is pretty much like a kid on the other team who just can't really skate. Really originated. You see kids who put tape around their ankles because their ankles are too weak to hold themselves up. So they can't skate, they just call them Bender.
For all the insults you could throw at a skater, goalies aren't always safe behind those pads. Forward J.P. Sawyer calls on a famous motion picture to get his point across.
It comes up in Miracle, that movie Miracle about the 1980 team. They always just like, oh, what's up, you sip? Like, just a bad goalie.
Not all hockey lingo is an insult. There are plenty of terms that describe what goes on during a game, like the way a goal is scored.
So say if Rich came in and ripped a clap from the top of the circles, and and hit the bottom of the bar and went straight down and went in the net still. They call it a little bar down shot, bar down ski. I've never heard of bar Mexico, though. That's a good one.
Thanks, James. That wraps up this edition of Mountaineer Playbook. I'm Erin Slindy.
And I'm James Barrickman. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.